Hello, welcome to Save the Track Bike, my new podcast. My name is Joshua LeBior. I am your host. This is episode number 1, so I should probably introduce myself. My name is Josh. I live in Denver, Colorado. I love track bikes. I've been riding them since I think I got my first one in 2007. I'm not necessarily a pro. I've never been a bike messenger or anything. I just really love the bikes and have for a long time. And only recently have I kind of been taking it more seriously, I guess, and started training. I did one fixed gear crit last year, and I think I'm going to spend the summer doing as many fixed gear crits as I can afford to get to. And yeah, I don't know. What else should I say? I like all the bike materials. I don't care what kind of bike you ride. I'm not necessarily like a purist on anything, which is fine if you are, and it's fine if you're not. Mostly I just love to see people kind of getting on bikes and stuff. So, and I really love the sport of racing. I just love watching the Red Hook crits. I love all that shit. So, what else? I make films. I work for a coffee company. I've been vegan for 8 years. Not that that has anything to do with bikes, but you know, that's me. That's the stuff that I do. I started this podcast just because I think that I love bikes. I want to put a spotlight on track bikes and kind of the sport in general. So mostly what I'm planning on doing is interviewing as many athletes as I can, possibly doing some product reviews. So the goal is to have longer interview episodes and then maybe have some shorter ones like, you know, reviewing different products and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see where all that goes, but today on the first one, I have Carlos from Sunday Strong. Sunday Strong is a fixed gear group out here. They go on group rides. They have a team, 2 of the guys, I think, maybe more, but at least 2 of them did a couple Red Hooks. We talk about that in the podcast. We talk about riding fixed gears up mountains. We talk about our favorite fixed gear videos. We talk about dream bikes and wish lists and all that stuff. So I think it went really well. Just a pre-warning that the sound on this episode isn't the best, mostly because me and Carlos decided to go out on a ride, and we did most of the interview outside, and so there's probably a lot of background noise and stuff, but hey, it's episode number 1. Can't be perfect. It'll only get better from here. I have a windscreen on the way. My friend Davey is producing this episode, and he's going to make it sound as good as he can for how bad I did at the recording. Yeah, what else should I say? I don't know. Let's just get to the interview.
Hey everybody, I'm Carlos Perez. I'm from New Jersey originally. Moved out here to Denver for more opportunities in life and found cycling as a nice way to just get a lot of things from the past released, and found it more enjoying than anything I've ever done before. Now I'm a cyclist, I guess.
Nice. So, how long have you lived in Colorado, and like kind of what got you into track bikes specifically?
So I've been here for over 4 years now, and what got me into track bikes was Bill Ross. His cool ass dude. I went to the shop to go get a tire fix, in a flat fix, and Bill Ross was there, and he had this dope ass mashed Chanelli bolt, the white and green, and I was just like, what the fuck is that? Like, just blew my mind away. And I like heard his stories and like his journey through life and what he's been through, and like how it led him to track bikes. And you know, just seeing that, like a familiarity came about where I was just like, fuck, I've been through all this in my life, and then like finding peace in track bikes and riding around in this beautiful state we have, and like everyone has the opportunity to do it, and it's amazing. And everyone that I've met that does it, they love it just as much.
Yeah, I think kind of what got me, like, well, it's funny because I kind of got back into track bikes and like kind of back in when like the first MASH videos came out, and like Macaframa was coming out, and like during that whole scene, I just like, I never really got involved in the scene, but I'm good. I never really got involved in the scene, but I just like being on the bike itself was like what got me into it, you know what I mean? And like just like going out by myself, and mostly at the time it was like utilitarian, but like it was definitely fun. But it's funny because I lost it for a while, and then for some reason like all my friends were getting into road cycling, and I ended up buying a road bike and kind of buying a kit and everything and whatever, and just being like, okay, this is what everybody's doing now. And then I noticed those like Patrick Seabase videos and like the God and Famous videos, and I'm like, oh, people are like going out in like road bike clothes and stuff, and like still riding track bikes. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That's amazing.
And then I pretty much immediately got rid of my road bike and bought another track bike. So
yeah.
So I feel ya.
I see where you go on that. Like I've never ridden a road bike, and I'm happy I got introduced into track bikes instead. I don't really see it as a bad thing, but I mean, I know a lot of people get their start in road cycling, and you know, makes you a better rider, what a lot of people say. But I mean, I ride my track bike, and I ride it just as fast as the road bikes, or even faster, climb just as hard, and you know, it's all perspective. Like how much you put into it is what you get.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's kind of what I like about it. It's like there's like a certain connection that you don't get, and I hate to say that because it sounds really like, I don't know, everybody says that.
Yeah.
It's like there's something about, you know,
yeah, that's
you feel connected or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
but it really is that.
Yeah.
That's
like I've honestly been through so many different phases in my life to where like I've collected things, been involved with things, and you know, never really felt the passion like I do for this. You know, and it might be because I'm older and I have a little more respect for things, but I do appreciate what you get out of it and what it makes other people. Like you don't see people like, at least over here in Colorado, you know, everyone's different and we all still ride together. You know, you can still have your differences, but you know, we all ride bikes, and that's what all brings us together. You know, it doesn't matter if you're like, especially nowadays with, you know, Trump supporters, and just like, then you got your liberals, and then you've got your, you know, semi-conservatives and your demis and whatever. And you know, it feels like when you're on a track bike or on any bike, none of that shit even matters.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that a lot too when I went out and rode with you guys, that it was just like everybody was so different, but I just like everybody was welcome, and it was just like, you know, I got dropped a bunch because I was like, oh man, I'm riding with some fucking fast guys right now. And I just like, but I never felt like I was a burden on the group or something, you know what I mean? And I think that that's pretty rad.
Oh yeah, man, thanks. Like we try to just let everybody be who they are, you know, let them say what they ever want to say. And nobody really, it's either funny or you know, you have a hard time dealing with it, you know. I don't really think that judging people by the way they think because they were raised a certain way, or you know, grew up in a certain place, makes you any cooler than anybody else, you know. we all ride bikes, and we're all just as cool as each other, no matter where you come from or who you are.
Yeah. So we're sitting out here in Golden, Colorado, right over by the Coors factory, hanging out by a no trespassing sign. We just rode our track bikes over here. It was fun. I guess I kind of wanted to get into how did Sunday Strong come about, and like what is it about to you? So yeah, just tell us like what it is and like why you started it, and kind of, or if you started it. You did, right?
Yeah, I started it with a couple other guys who kind of just grew from rolling out on a Sunday ride with, you know, jean shorts and t-shirts and going by the river, coming out to places like this. Golden, you know, was our regular ride. And now I look back at it, and it's, you know, it was a ride where we took maybe 3-4 stops before we even got to where we are right now. And we're talking 13 miles. You know, we're stopping every 4 or 5 miles, you know. And it was just like, it's not that we were so into it that we were gonna come out here and just like mash out. We were just coming out here to have fun and sit by the river, smoke some weed and whatever. And then it got to the point where, you know, some of us were getting faster, and it got kind of just tiring to, you know, stay in a slow group. So we decided to come out early on a ride before our regular Sunday ride, and do a, you know, 40 to 60 mile ride, come back into the regular ride, and do that ride as well, just to get another, you know, 20-30 miles in. And so it started out just like that, getting, you know, 40 miles, 60 miles, 70 miles, then going 80 miles, and we're all like, wow, we're riding pretty far on a track bike here. This is pretty cool, you know. And we didn't see anybody else doing it, and everyone we invited out was like, nah, I don't want to go out there. We're like, well, fuck it, we do. So we just got out, started getting kits, because it started, you know, feeling better. You know, as you ride those longer miles, you don't carry as much either, because you're like, all right, I want to mash through this, but I'm carrying a backpack, you know. And this is like restricting me from like descending. I'm like, you know, I'm descending, I got this backpack jiggling, and my back is going back and forth into my head, and you know, it's kind of dangerous. So you kind of lose that. You get a jersey and you put what you can into the pockets, and you go out. And that's how it started. We decided just to, I remember when the name came about, it was like we all came out in kits, and it was like, oh shit, you all got a kit on, you got a kit, wow. And then my buddy Lance, he was like, man, Sunday Strong out here, you know. And like that just stuck, I don't know. So it was Sunday Strong from even before it was even Sunday Strong. We would just go out, do long rides, you know, in jean shorts and t-shirts and backpacks and climbing mountains, and it was fun. And then we decided to take it seriously when, you know, everybody was into the times and getting Strava and all that, so people started getting KOMs and like just top 10 places on some segments, and we were like, wow, we're doing this on track bikes, and we're seeing everyone in the top, you know, 100, they're all on road bikes, and we're like, oh man, we can do this. Like that's just what it is now.
That's what I think is like, I think is really fun about track bikes is kind of people look at you like you're crazy when you tell them you do like a Lookout Mountain, or if you do Deer Creek or something on a track bike, and they're just like, oh, that's fucking crazy. How do you do, you know what I mean? But really it's just about, it's the same in a way. You're just pushing. And like for me on the descents, you just kind of feel like there's this weird rhythm that you're just kind of like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're in it. Like,
yeah.
I remember descending down Lookout one time with one of my buddies who was on a road bike, and you know, he's one of those dudes who, you know, he bought, you know, Cinelli Vigarelli when it first came out, and all about it. Real strong rider, really influenced me on my riding and stuff like that. And he was descending behind me on a road bike. He's like, I've never seen anybody descend on a fixed gear like that. Like, what do you mean? He's like, just with like power, fluidity, and not skidding through it, like timing your turns and stuff like that, and going through it just like with the same movement, not looking like you're struggling through it, and I told him, I'm like, man, this is like a regular ride nowadays for people on track bikes. Like, you ride with any track bike rider out here, they're descending the same way. That's just how it is. Like, you go fast and you learn how to do fast on difficult level.
Well, I think back in the day it was all about, like, I think everybody almost was riding like 46-16,
Yeah.
And I think that was part of it. And like now people are like, oh, I can still go up a mountain on like a 50-15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And like then whenever you're descending, it helps you get in that rhythm a little more, where you're just like, I don't know, it's like music, it's just like pop, pop, pop. Yeah. You can almost put a metronome to it. That's what I like about it so much.
And what's great, just like wearing headphones doing it too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It makes you just like that much more confident in what you're doing. If you could just follow a beat or a tone.
My favorite thing is like on the ascents, I'll like listen to some like explosions in the sky or something epic, And then whenever I get to the top and I'm about to descend, I'll put on like, Kendrick or something.
Oh yeah.
Because then I want hip hop on the way down.
Yeah, you want to have a nice rhythm on the way down.
Yeah.
Going up to struggle, you want a little, little entertainment.
Yeah.
Something to get your mind off of the hurt.
The suffer fest needs a distraction sometimes.
Yeah.
That's rad. So what's kind of the goal for Sunday Strong? I know you did Red Hook last year, right?
Yeah, I did 2 Red Hooks. Didn't do what I wanted to do in it. I let other riders, dictate what I was going to do, and that's just part of inexperience. But I'm glad I got to do it, and I know that I'm not gonna just like go and just be top rider from the get-go. I know I'm fast, but everyone's fast, it's how you play the game, knowing where to attack, just knowing where to stay in the pack, which pack to follow, who to follow. Just choosing things is so much more technical than just wanting to do it,
Yeah. So how was that kind of experience, like going to Red Hook for the first time? It's like, I'm assuming if you're listening to this podcast, you know what Red Hook is. It's the biggest like fixed gear crit in the world, really. They had 4 races this season in the series. So which 2 did you do, and just kind of what did it feel like going to those?
So I did 2 Brooklyn Red Hooks. Didn't travel internationally to do any because I just wanted to test the waters and see what it was like. Thinking with a lot more training I'm doing currently and just last season after Red Hook, getting prepared mentally and physically for it again is going to be a lot more nerve-wracking than it was before, because I know what opportunities I have going into it now, knowing how much better I am than I was before. Like, the first one was just so nerve-wracking. I almost couldn't handle it because it was just so much. Like,
yeah.
And then the way they did it was you got like 10 minutes to ride the course, do your fast laps, slow laps, and it really just kind of turned us all off onto what we had to do our times, like as a beginner. If you weren't in a team or in with the big packs, you didn't know like to stick together. Everyone kind of just did their own thing and not timed it out to stay starting out together on their laps to get good times. You know, a lot of people just went for it, and, you know, it's hard to stick with anybody. And then I remember just being solo on the whole thing and wondering, you know, I'm passing this guy, I'm passing this guy, I'm passing this guy. Where is it gonna, like, who's in the beginning? I don't know. Like, who's first, who's second? There is no pack, there is no working, there is no... So it kind of just, like, it was a solo timing. Basically.
So it's kind of like people that don't have that, like, that kind of background in, like, road racing or something didn't know.
Yeah. If you didn't come with a team, you weren't gonna compete in the final. Yeah. You know.
But you kind of want to go in and, like, know. I think it's helpful for me. Like, I just went and looked at, like, for people that are thinking about doing this for the first time. I think one thing have found helpful and, like, going into my first, hopefully, season of doing these races is, like, just watching videos on road bike crits and, like, how to do road bike crits, how to train for them. Obviously, the cornering is going to be a lot different, the speed, the pacing, all that stuff, but just knowing about, like, kind of, like, drafting and...
Yeah, I mean, I would look more towards right now, there's this huge European Series rad race that is just blowing up. I mean, getting, you know, 200-plus riders out to do distance rides.
I want to do fixed 42 so bad.
So bad, you know. I'm ready. I just gotta get a ticket and go.
I might go this year. Are we gonna go?
Well, when is it?
They haven't announced the date yet. I think it's coming out soon.
Yeah, I didn't think they did, but when they announce it, let's see if I'm off of work and, you know, I want to take a little vacation and do a 40-some mile ride. Yeah, you know, I'm ready to go. I've got, like, this Colorado stamina in me that I'm just, you know, dying to try out over in Germany. And, I mean, I used to live in Germany. I was in the Army for about 7 years, and I did 2 years in Germany. Well, one of the years was in Iraq, but the rest of the time I was in Germany, and I love it out there. It's beautiful, and I could only imagine what it's like to ride a bike out there. You know, the hills are wondrous, and, like, the scenery is just so fucking majestic. And then, like...
Then you get to be on the Autobahn.
Yeah!
On a fucking bicycle!
Yeah, I've never been on a bicycle. Always rode on it on a car, but never on a bicycle. What the fuck, right? It's amazing. So, yeah, maybe that. Who knows, like... Let's see how far this fixed gear thing goes. But I want to get... The whole goal of Sunday Strong is to really just get people interested in riding track bikes. And, like, not just limiting their bike skills to riding around town.
Yeah. I think that's huge. That's kind of why I'm doing this podcast, too. I'm like, dude, don't feel the pressure just because, like, there's group rides and stuff. If you want to ride a track bike up a mountain, go fucking do it. Yeah. You know, like, if you like wearing some Lycra on a track bike, then fucking do it. Should we get a cup of coffee?
Yeah. Definitely. Coffee time.
We're going to take a coffee break, and we'll be back while we drink coffee.
Awesome.
I need to get a new one of these. The stop button does not like to work. All right, we're at the coffee shop. Got some snacks and coffee.
My favorite bike right now is definitely the bike I have currently riding with me is my Cinelli Vigorelli.
It's that green sparkle.
Yeah, I got a custom paint job on it. Got the splash fill wood hubs and seat post collar. Whew, so happy I got that in. Thank you, Phil Wood. But yeah, and definitely...
Not sponsored, but he'll take it.
Definitely. And what started me out, like, in my fast stage, I would say my Fuji Track Pro. Definitely my most mileage bike. I think I've done almost 8,000 miles on that bike.
Damn.
And it's so strong still. I just set it up on my trainer, so it's now my winter training bike. So I could swap out gears on it and just, I got a big chain on it, so.
Somebody was selling a 2009 Fuji Track Comp on Craigslist, and I should have bought it. I regret my decisions.
I say, if you're going to buy one of the Fuji Track ones, the Pro, the 09 Pro.
Yeah.
I think that's the most sought after one.
Yeah, those are rad.
Yeah. Just that red, man, it just like, it kills. Yeah.
I kind of like, I think my dream bike is like this dude, do you know Chocolate Spoke Cyclery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to have that dude build me a bike.
I live a few blocks from here now.
He's so nice.
I haven't been there yet, but I plan to go.
Yeah. But yeah, he custom builds frames and stuff. I'm like, I want him to build me a steel frame with some like Columbus Zona like tubing.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right? And then I want to do like an NV carbon fork on that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But we'll see. That'll be way too expensive. I can't afford that yet. But hey, if anybody's out there, they want to donate to me, give me some money.
I heard he makes chocolate too.
He doesn't make the chocolate. He just has chocolate there.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like a chocolate
Maybe
chef.
he does now. I actually haven't gone in there in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're in Denver, go to Chocolate Spoke. They don't have much for track bikes there, but the dude's just really cool. Like, really, like, advocate for his community. Just, like, good dude. Always wearing a bow tie. Hand makes steel bikes. He'll build you a track bike.
Oh, yeah. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I also think about those lows. I like those.
My buddy's got one, man. They're freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love that geometry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to talk bad about a company that does so well, but I'm kind of like a decal, you know? You can't paint the logo on.
Yeah.
It's a $2,000 bike. You can't paint the logo on it. I don't know. Maybe it was just my friend's bike.
Yeah.
But still, I would want it painted.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he asked for it with logos. But who knows? I don't know. I really want a Stanridge. He does amazing custom builds, 101s that are just like phenomenal looking. I mean, to have one of his, I think would be a trophy bike.
Yeah.
You know, that seems like one of those frame builders where you see that could do anything.
Yeah.
You know, anything you want.
I like that kind of thing. All right, we're in spot number 3. We rode back to Denver, hanging our feet over the ledge. What's your favorite song to ride to?
I have to say Push It Along by Tribe Called Quest. It just keeps me going. Like, push it along. You know, you can't stop to that. You know?
That's legit. I went through a Most Def phase where that was all I listened to when I rode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, the Chinelli crashed. Nobody was on it though.
I play mostly just hit bars and saddle.
Nice. So what's on your wish list for parts or clothing or whatever?
Man, clothing. Definitely we're working on the capo kit. It's taking a little longer than expected on the design. Trying to get it like right to where we could, you know, have other local Denver riders want to wear it as well. So trying to make it an everybody jersey, make it kind of Denver, Colorado related, and expose our mountains and stuff in it and give people an idea of how Colorado riding is, you know, through a jersey.
Fuck yeah. And what was the last one I had in my mind? Oh yeah, favorite like fixed gear video or movie? This was inspired because we were just talking about Premium Rush.
Yeah, Premium Rush. What an awesome movie, right? I mean, even if you think it's whack, it's actually like pretty much accurate to how like the street bike scene is. You know, you've got your characters and everybody's just who they are. Nobody gives a fuck, you know, and I think that's well represented in the movie, if you ask me. But
I would say the one thing that confuses me the most is why that dude on the $10,000 like carbon fiber bike also had a giant brand new Dodge truck. How is that messenger making so much money?
yeah, definitely got something else on the side. If you know, I don't know about like being a messenger and making enough money to have a fucking high-end road bike with a fucking big-ass truck to haul it along. And, you know, especially in New York City. Nobody drives a fucking truck in New York City.
No.
Who the fuck does that shit? I'm from Jersey, man. If you drive a fucking truck in New York City, you're asking for problems. You ain't getting no parking, you know? Good luck paying fucking over $200 a month to park your shit.
Right.
But as videos, like inspirational videos, I really do love just watching the Red Hook cams.
Legit.
Yeah, just like seeing the whole race in its entirety, like, and then mimicking, you know? I think we all mimic our idols, you know? When I was a kid, I used to mimic Derek Jeter, you know? Do his turnaround toss as a shortstop playing in Little League. You know, Michael Jordan's fucking 3, you know, like, we all practice our idols' favorite, like, best of the best. And watching Red Hook, you have the best of the best. And, you know, what's wrong with mimicking those guys? They're fucking awesome. Superstars in my eyes.
I'm always mimicking Patrick Seabase with the all-black kit.
Yeah. Definitely my favorite rider to watch is Addison.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
dude,
fucking guts and glory all the time, just like real true idol in the game, like just someone who picked it up from, you know, BMXing as well.
Yeah.
And just smashes on people. He's awesome. Awesome to see.
For real, I want to see more videos with him because, like, I like watching him ride a fixed gear bike. He kills it. And actually, like, an interview with Addison Zawada was actually kind of what inspired me to do this podcast. I was like, oh, I want to talk about fixed gear bikes. And, like, that was the only podcast I heard that actually, like, that was talking about it. Besides this other one that this guy Reed Calamaro was doing. But now it's just about, like, road climbing. But he was doing that fixed 42 race. He was talking about that.
Oh, okay.
But those two, whenever he started talking about road bikes again, I was like, fuck, there needs to be a track bike podcast again.
Right, I do. I've listened to Lance Armstrong's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty. I think if you want to like mimic somebody in their training, you know, and just how they race, Lance Armstrong is someone to also mimic, and just like even all through, you know, what he's been through. I don't feel like that's something that, you know, other people weren't doing, so he had to compete with them as well. And, you know, if cycling's tough, no matter what you do, you know, if you're doping or not doping, like, we've all got our doping, you know, whether it's the food we eat or what we don't eat and what we replace it with, you know. So
I remember seeing that video where Mash went out and rode with Lance. Have you ever seen that one?
It's that Texas, the Texas video. That shit was awesome, man.
And then he just, like, fucking just takes off with those, like, mustache bars, like, t-shirt, and he just, like, starts going so fast and just, like, drops everybody.
Yeah, that's a true pro right there.
Yeah.
I mean, someone who could just get on any bike and just fucking do his damn thing.
Yeah. But really, like, I mean, maybe he was a bigger dick about it than a lot of people, but everybody at that time was doping, and, like, he was still the best.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at the top of the game, you have to be a dick. It's some sort of way, or someone's going to perceive you as being a dick.
Yeah.
Like, you don't necessarily have to be a dick for people to think that you're a dick.
Well, his new podcast, I listened to the whole Tour de France thing. I listened to every episode of his podcast, and, like, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I think I think his insight is very valuable, and like his stories are great. And if you do want to listen to a bicycling podcast, his is awesome.
Yeah.
I heard, remember when they had just this last tour, they gave him slack for, or here in Colorado, they gave him slack for doing his podcast on that.
Yep.
You know, trying to make money, and what's wrong with that?
He actually highlighted the fixed gear crit on the podcast.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, he actually was like, yeah, there was a fixed gear crit, and apparently he told the organizers they should have a red hook in Denver.
That'd be amazing. I mean, we've got this scene, like, we just don't have the people racing yet. I mean, people who came out to the Colorado Classic, the Velorama race.
Well, I should clarify, he told the organizers of Velorama that they should do something like a red hook.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it should be, you know, highlighting just a fixed gear race, bringing out people from all over the world. You know, training up here is difficult enough, and riding a crit is definitely tough, you know. People would definitely accept the challenge, I believe, being up here in 5280.
Yeah. Plus, you guys got to come over and, you know, you can go to all of our dispensaries and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm smoking weed right now.
Hell yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong.
There ain't nothing wrong.
And it helps.
I can't do it, though, because it makes me feel sick.
I mean, we do it a lot on our rides, and honestly, sometimes you need a little bit of the help.
Yeah.
The way it opens up your lungs, and, you know, also just, like, slows down your thinking and makes you focus on what you're doing. You know, like, you know, when you smoke, you tend to overthink things, and that's why when paranoia sets in. But when you're cycling, you don't have that paranoia. What you have is just an amazing venture ahead of you, you know, like everything's a little more intricate to you. You focus on like your surroundings, the route, you look at the road a little more. And then riding a track bike, I mean, you have to really look at all that stuff in the first place. So it just helps you out in that aspect, I think. And then being able to just climb up here, you know, having the lungs for it, some people can't handle it, but I mean, I'm just going to say it helps me out a little bit.
I fully support it. That's why I was 100% on board with legalizing it here. Because why the fuck is anybody in jail for weed? Like, fuck off.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to just fucking jail somebody for a plant.
Seriously.
I mean, if it could grow anywhere on this earth.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up, saying that you're gonna ban the environment. How do you ban the environment? Like, it's a natural aspect in all of our environments. It grows naturally on this planet. So.
For real. Some dude just passed by on a state fixed gear bike.
Yeah, state representative.
He was listening to Fatboy Slim, I think.
Oh, something around the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's another good song to ride to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just like looking for something to roll to, you know, usually happy music, anything that's happy.
Yeah.
I've definitely had like some wrong songs on the playlist that I was like, oh, this does not belong on this ride.
Yep.
You know.
I really like grew up listening to punk and hardcore and stuff like that, and like I cannot listen to hardcore on a ride is basically what I'm saying. Like, I'm just like, I get too aggro and I'm like, ah.
Yeah,
and it makes me anxious.
Yeah, that's like
I have to counteract it. I need like a beat, like hip hop, or I need like something just experimental and just meandering.
Well, like even with hip hop, like sometimes if I listen to gangster rap, I'm like, I get really into it, and
yeah,
you're like a gangster on a bike. You know, you like do whatever you want. You're like breaking the law everywhere. You know, you're like slapping cars, and you know, it's something that makes you a little more, like you said, aggro as well. So, I mean, I like the thought rappers like Most, Common, Kendrick, Jay. I mean, I listen to a lot of Jay-Z. That's just, you know, unwritten rap, which is
that new album is so sick.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's fun to ride to.
Yeah, definitely, and I always put that on the riding playlist. Definitely.
We got some wide bars, really bright orange fixed gear bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shiny.
that's real bright. It's like some high-vis orange.
That is an amazing orange right there.
Yeah. That's a sick bike. All right. I think I had one more question, and I'm forgetting what it was. Oh, yeah. So everybody talks about fixed gear crits, fixed gear bikes being, like, super dangerous. But yet, I see people going into comas in road races. I see road bikes crashing. Yeah. I see people on mountain bikes jumping off cliffs doing backflips. What do you think about that theory that fixed gear crits are just somehow more dangerous than everything else?
I feel like on a fixed gear bike, you'll have less mechanical failures since you have less components. Just being able to not have your brake pad come loose, your wheels slipping out of your dropouts. I mean, it happens in fixed gear races, sure, but that's also just that's a maintenance issue. You know, if you're racing hard, you go and take your shit down really hard. You know, like on your dropouts. But yeah, I mean, that shit happens as well. Like, we all forget to do stuff before we race because there's high anxiety and just like so much thought going into it. So, but being, you know, on a track bike, I feel like it's way safer because you have the manual control over the bike. You know, like you could basically ride it like someone is walking, you know, as fast. Ride behind somebody and then like control your speeds at such a high pace. Like you could go from like 0 to 60 is what I like to do. You know, little fart there.
Well, I think that's what we were talking about before we started the podcast when we were just riding, is like descending on a road bike. In some ways, like I felt more scared I was going to lose control. Like my bike was wobbling. I was, you know, I just felt like out of control. But when I'm on a track bike, I feel very much like I'm regulating everything with my legs.
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking about it as much.
Yeah, and I see it a lot in how even riding behind road bikes, descending, how you could take turns much sharper and be able to accelerate at a high speed without using brakes. You know, you just go right into a fluid downhill speed. And you could push it even faster is what's so great about it, is that you don't go into a coast mode, you know, that gives you even that split second delay of I'm gonna go right now. Yeah. You know, like going down Lookout Mountain, there's a point after you hit all the switchbacks on the way down where you could basically ride the rest of that 2 miles descent just fucking blazing fast. And road bikers do it all the time. They go, but they're braking really hard on the turns, and you know, you kind of just look back and, you know, well, you look forward at them and you're trying to brake behind them. You know, I don't think it's safe for a track bike to ride even near a road bike on a descent, actually. Yeah. That's pretty dangerous because a track bike is not going to show any signs of braking other than like his like legs, right? And a road bike will show no sign. Like, they're gonna just use their finger to hit that brake and automatically like get at a lower speed. Yeah. On a track bike, you cannot automatically get to that lower speed. That's why you can't hit that descent so quickly, but you will accelerate faster off the turn. So on a track bike, way safer, I think.
Some guy just passed by on an Aventon.
Yeah. Aventon, yeah. That was dope. We've seen a lot more bikes out here, which is great. And by the way, it is December in Denver, Colorado, and everyone's out in a t-shirt and shorts. Yeah. So
it snowed yesterday.
Yeah.
Or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And now it's 60.
Which is amazing. I mean, I'm getting sunburn over here.
Fuck yeah.
There's not a cloud in the sky.
Dope. I think we got a good podcast here. Cool, man. Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having this, and I hope we get to get more of the prominent track bike riders out here in Colorado to get on as well. You know, they're
we're gonna put on a race this summer. All of you people from other states, come out.
Yeah, we need some fast guys. Let's get it.
Yeah. And ladies, we need more women riders out here.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know how it is anywhere else, but we have like a really small interest for ladies riding. I think they think it's too dangerous. Well, from what I've heard, you know, and I think a lot of it just has to do with the lack thereof.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't have it here, no one's gonna want to do it, and they're not gonna see how fun it is and like how much entertainment goes into it. And you know, we got a good scene out here. We've got a good show on our hands. Track bike racing is amazing spectator sport. You know, it's high speeds and just fun.
Yeah. We got to get more people on track bikes. All kinds of different colors, all kinds of different genders, all kinds of different everything. Just ride a bike. Let's do this. All right. Well, that does it for episode 1 of Save the Track Bike. I want to thank Carlos for coming on and talking to me. We had a good time going out and riding and just enjoying a beautiful Colorado day. But yeah, if there's anything else, like any people that you want to hear on the podcast, I just want to put a spotlight on the sport, like I said, you know, throughout the whole thing. Yeah. So let's see. The podcast is produced by David Draper. Check us out on Instagram at Save the Track Bike, SaveTheTrackBike.com. Send me an email if you have any suggestions or requests. Let's see. I think that's going to be it. Oh, yeah. And the theme song I got from Free Music Archive. It's Vitamin Pet. The song is called Slag Girl. That's all I got for you. Thanks again for listening. Go ride your track bike in inappropriate places. Thank you.